Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So we have a story about a male athlete who has, I guess, slipped through the radar and been competing in women's sports for a very long time. It doesn't appear that this person has been challenged in any way, just accepted as being a woman and competing against female athletes. Not only does this person compete in swimming and recently won an event, this person has also done CrossFit. So people are calling out these organisations that has allowed this male athlete to compete in the women's category and ask them, why? Why have you allowed a male athlete to compete as a woman for years upon years? How is this acceptable? Even before we debate whether it's fair or safe or anything like that, why is it just allowed to happen? In the first place, sports has categories. So shout out to hecheated.org. I believe this is a relatively new website that documents these transgender athletes, these male athletes competing in women's categories. And I think they were the first to highlight this story. So a male athlete has taken first in the women's 50-yard breaststroke at the US Masters Spring National Championships. Now this male athlete is now called Hugo Caldas, formerly known as Hugo, and I believe also went by the name of Hannah. How many male athletes are just out there openly competing in the women's category, unchallenged? So over the weekend, Hugo Caldas took first in the 45 to 49 Masters category of the women's breaststroke at the US Masters Spring National Championships that is currently underway in San Antonio, Texas. And this championship, this sporting body, whoever organises this event, is allowing male athletes to compete in the women's category. And I think people may not be aware that this person is male, although it's pretty obvious, or they're just so used to it that they don't even question it now. They're like, oh, fine, this person identifies as a woman, let him compete in that category. He's been competing in that category for the longest time, so why challenge it? Because I'm seeing a lot of support for this person at the same time. So USMS swimmer info. This person is listed as Anna and is from North Texas. Most recent club is O2 Performance Aquatics and is very much an active member. This is US Masters Swimming. We talk about Lia Thomas. That was a very high profile case. That was at a college level, at NCAA level. So obviously that would bring a lot of attention. But because I guess this is the Masters level, it's not got as much publicity. But these women are still having to deal with this. Similar situation to Lia Thomas. There's a woman who was denied a national championship at this level because it went to a male athlete in swimming of all sports. Obviously, we know that a male swimmer is going to have an advantage over a female swimmer. There's no debate about that. Upper body strength, all of that. So this person has entered several other women's events scheduled across the weekend, including the 100-meter yard, IM, a 50-yard freestyle, 100-yard breaststroke, and a 100-yard freestyle. And this is the issue with these athletes. They always enter into multiple events, multiple competitions, multiple sports, destroying women's sports across the board. I mean, it's very obvious. Yes, women have muscles too. But it's a lot easier for men to build muscles at a far greater level than it is for women. Far from an isolated incident, Caldas has a lengthy history of competing and winning in women's events. Originally from Portugal, Caldas first participated in swimming competitions in Scotland as Hugo before relocating to the US. Okay, so I believe while in Scotland, this person was actually competing as a man, competing as Hugo. Hugo relocated to the US to finish graduate studies. There, while working as an assistant professor of neurosurgery at Wake Forest, Caldas began competing in women's divisions under the name Hannah and later changed names again to Anna, Ducamore, Caldas, notably taking the same first name as his sister. Okay. In 2012, Caldas attempted to qualify for the Portugal women's Olympic swim team, narrowly missing the Olympic standard by a mere 0.3 seconds. Despite missing the Olympics, the competitive success in the women's divisions soon skyrocketed. So, of course, competing against other males the results were pretty mediocre. But you almost make it to the Olympics when competing as a woman. Funny that. So, Caldas narrowly missed out, but certainly went for it, certainly tried to qualify for the Olympics. Why not? I'm in a category where I have a greater advantage. So this person has dominated US Masters swimming. So swimming, within the age range of 45 to 50, for example, this person has dominated, holding 7 individual national records and 6 relay records at various points, earning 7 All-American honors and a USMS pool all-star title multiple times between 2010 and 2012. This has been going on for over a decade. Over a decade this has been going on. And people are like, oh yeah, Anna, great. Competing in the women's category, no questions asked. How has this been allowed to go on? Why has this never been challenged? And I have to question the women who compete against this person, because it is possible that many of them are unaware. Speaking to other athletes who have been in this position, I've heard of them not even being aware that they're competing against a man, especially in certain sports like powerlifting, for example, CrossFit, for example. You have women who have muscles, so it's not out of the ordinary to see women who are quite huge, who have big muscles, competing. So if you see somebody who looks pretty masculine, who's very muscular, you just think it's a woman who looks that way. Because women do come in different shapes and sizes, contrary to what the trans movement says, where it says that women have long hair, they like pink, all of these feminine stereotypes. Apparently that's what makes you a woman. So today, Caldas still holds 1 individual and 2 relay national records, along with a staggering 37 Masters state records in Arizona and North Carolina. This person has competed on the world's stage. This person is basically competing as a world-class athlete in the women's category, of course. In March 2024, so just last year, Caldas claimed the women's 45 to 49 100-meter freestyle world title at the World Aquatics Masters World Championships in Doha. Then, in October 2024, he dominated the South American Masters Championships, setting 6 new South American women's records and grabbing 6 medals across individual and mixed events, even setting a new FINA Masters world record in the 160 to 199 mixed 200 meters freestyle relay. And all the women whose place this person has taken, where are they? We have women who didn't make the podium. We have women who didn't make the championships, who didn't make the competition, didn't qualify. We have women who didn't win gold medals, whose records this person has taken. So in justifying allowing this person to compete in women's sports for over a decade, you're also saying that it's okay for those women to be disenfranchised, for those women to be denied opportunities that they work very hard for. If you're competing over the age of 45, guarantee you that these women have been competing for a very long time. And they get told that they have to be okay with being put in an unfair situation. Well, we need to pay more attention. We need to pay more attention, and this needs to be called out at all levels across the board.
Tough.
Yeah.
I'm also really heavy, so I don't know what system you use, but I weigh about, at one point I weighed 200 pounds, which is really heavy.
Yeah.
I'm upwards of 85 kilos right now, so well over 185 pounds. So that's heavy, and having to learn to do gymnastics that way, it became very blatant that I can't do gymnastics like a gymnast.
Yeah.
Or I can't learn gymnastics as a gymnast. Maybe eventually I can get into that, and that's kind of one of the things that, as I was teaching butterfly pull-ups, it's like I don't want them to end doing them the way I'm going to start teaching you.
Yes.
But I want you to
reverse
right.
just to teach them the actual the movement of it.
Yeah.
So you can see the difference between Hannah and the guy doing the interview. I mean, this is no joke. So this person also competed in CrossFit. In the CrossFit community, Caldas became something of an international figure, referred to by some as the Queen of CrossFit. Notable achievements include first place finishes at major events like the 2016 Adriatic Throwdown in Croatia, 2016 Southfit Challenge in Argentina, 2014 Aphrodite Games in Cyprus. Caldas also claimed third place at the 2017 TYR Wadapalooza Fitness Festival and placed as high as 8th at the 2018 CrossFit Games in the women's 40 to 44 category, representing Portugal as the flag bearer. In 2021, Caldas finished 7th at the CrossFit Games in the same women's category, of course. This person has also won prize money, winning $3,000 in prize money intended for female athletes at the CPCF Battle of the East competition in 2014. So we have Hugo before becoming Anna. Hugo came 23rd out of 24 athletes at the Scottish Open Short Course National Championships. Then Hugo moves to the United States, finishing his graduate studies while participating on the Ohio Splash Swim Team, which was a gay swim club. Yet, what they want is to compete as a woman and dominate and win a lot more accolades. You compete in a gay sports club, you're going to be competing against male athletes, and that's not what they want. So Caldas currently works as a fitness trainer and has been involved in women's CrossFit and indoor rowing along with swimming. At the 2021 World Rowing Indoor Championships, he took first in the Women's Open 500, tying the world record set by Olympic rower Alina Buryak of Ukraine. Wow, tied for the world record. No women's record should ever be held by a male athlete under any circumstance. There is no justification for that. When these people, again, like I say, they have options. You didn't win records when you were competing against men, did you? So they know exactly what they're doing, and it shouldn't be tolerated, especially for over a decade. And HeCheated.org asks a very good question and tags some important organisations. One has to wonder how Caldas has managed to slip under the radar for so long. But the question now is, will at CrossFit Games, at Masters Swimming, and at US Rowing allow this to continue? Why the F are CrossFit calling a man their queen? Do they despise female athletes? Do they want to be an even bigger laughingstock? The scope of Caldas' unfairness is staggering. He is the closest man yet to a South Park character. Are we supposed to act like this is perfectly fine? I don't think so.
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as a woman. Now that I can compete as female, I'm ready to smash the other girls.
So we need to be more vigilant. We need to call this out when we see it. And we certainly cannot let this go on for over a decade. Call out these sporting bodies, tag them, and ask them, are they going to allow this to continue? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video.